Hey, it's Mike. In today's video, we'll be discussing speed control. So one of the first things we need to do when we talk about speed is find a common language, find some common terms that are mean the same to you as me. Saying things like hit it hard, hit it soft is very subjective and relative to the person. Your hard, my soft, two different things. Not a good way to explain something. So what we'll discuss is a very specific measurable distance, and it's a distance you can visualize very easily. We're going to talk about diamonds. The distance between two diamonds will be one diamond's strength. The amount of strength that I need to apply to the cue ball for it to roll that diamond. So in an effort to get you a little bit more comfortable with how hard that actually is to hit something 4 diamonds, 6 diamonds in strength, we are going to play a game. So I've set up a game that was helpful and meaningful to me, really helped me understand the diamond strength. It's golf. On each side I have holes set up. We have 9 holes of golf here, 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and hole number 9. This first diamond down is your tee. That's your tee line. You will be teeing off from there every time. And our goal is to land the cue ball next to the hole. And I don't care if it's a couple inches away or a foot away. 2 measurable things, an inch and a foot. Not far, not short. So what does in the hole look like? That is when the cue ball starts to encompass the 10 ball. So outside, 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 inside, all the way over to here where it starts to leave the eclipse and go outside. How do you measure it? Just stand next to it and use your best judgment, yeah? So for holes 1 through 4, again, my tee line, I will start here. I will try to just roll it up next to the hole. Hitting the bottom rail for any of these holes is not a requirement. It's not suggested. It's also not a penalty, especially for hole number 4. You might hit that bottom rail and land up right next to it. Might actually be a good way to control yourself. The bottom rail will take some energy out. For holes 5 through 8, what we want to do is hit that bottom rail and come back up towards the hole. For hole number 8, it is not required nor a penalty to hit that top rail. For hole number 9, we have to come down, we have to come up, we have to hit that top rail, and it needs to land in front of the pocket, in front of the bowl. So hole number 9, both rails are required. So I will demonstrate hole number 2 here. Just going to roll up next to it. With all drills, practice your routine. Become consistent. Just because you're goofing around the pool table doesn't mean you need to be sloppy about it. Hole in 1. I may have done this drill before. So keep score. Keeping score will help see improvement, which is what we want for ourselves. We want to improve. We want to get better. Don't let that be subjective. I feel like I'm getting better. If you write it down, you know you're getting better. I guarantee you're going to get better. I'll give you a tip on how do I hit softly. How do I hit that softly? The amount of backstroke you have will be a large amount of force that you're going to apply. If you think about a pendulum going up really high, it's going to come down with some force. But if you only bring it up a little, it's not going to come down with a lot of force. So shorten your backstroke. Don't try to hit the brakes on your big stroke going forward. Don't try to control the speed of that pendulum. You'll be applying a different force to your arm. Just bring that back just a little bit and let it drop through and poke the front of that cue. Now that you've started to practice this, we can talk in very specific measurable hardnesses, lengths, the amount of force needed to go. See the 9 ball, since I'm starting here, is 7 down, 8 back. That's 15, 16, 17, 18 diamonds in strength. So if I said hit something with 18 diamonds of strength, you'll know exactly how far that is. I think I hit that with almost. I hit that with, what, 17 diamonds of strength. Overrolled it, I overshot the green. Too big of a backstroke. Just a small backstroke, very, very, very small, maybe even half an inch. Sometimes that's all you need, because that's how much force I need to apply. So that is our lingo and practice for determining how hard or soft we're hitting something. We're going to hit it with X number of diamonds in strength. Now we need to understand for cue ball control, speed control, is how much strength we need to hit a ball so that it goes, and how far that cue ball is going to go. So in a case where we have a 100% ball hit, which means we're hitting it with 100% down the middle, perfectly straight line to that pocket. And in this case, we are 3 diamonds away from that pocket. The cue ball needs to travel 1 diamond. Since 100% of the energy is going to get transferred, we need to hit that with 4 diamonds energy. 2, 3, 4. Between the 2 and the 3. So when I shot that hole number 2, that's going to come up short. So I need to go just a little bit harder. That was probably at perfect pocket speed. I hit that with probably just enough strength for it to go maybe just a hair more. That's 100% ball hit. We talk about fractional aiming system. It's actually used for understanding how much energy is going to get applied to the ball. So in a case where I am hitting something with that is a 3/4 ball hit, a 75% ball hit, only 75% of the cue ball's energy is going to get transferred. So we need to determine how much energy needs to be on this ball. We already know it's traveling 1, so we put 1 down. 1 plus what? This needs to travel 3, and that's only 75% of the energy there. So 75% of what gets us 3? 75% of 4 is 3, which means that there's still 25% of 4 left on the cue ball. The cue ball should travel approximately 1 diamond away. Again, if I hit this with perfect pocket speed. So it is 5 diamonds. You see the cue ball went about 1 diamond away, and that ball just dropped. Same thing applies for what percentage am I hitting that ball? 50%. 50% of the balls, of the cue ball's strength will be transferred to the object ball. 1 diamond away. So there's 1 plus what? 50% of 50% of what gets you 3, because that's what we want to travel. 50% of 6, yes, you got it. 50% of 6 gets you 3 plus the 1. We said 1 plus 6 equals 7. 7 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you can bring yourself back into that golf game and say, what did that feel like to me, a shooter? How far did I need to bring my stick back? What kind of distance, how big was that backstroke for it to get down to the 4? And then we have to keep in mind, just so we know, because we are talking about cue ball control, how far is that cue ball going to travel? It's going to travel about the same distance. So if this is 1 diamond, it's going to travel 1, 2, 3, I would say someplace just off of the rail. Probably going to go into it. Just enough to get there, and that's about where I had the 14. So, how can we use that to move the cue ball around? Now that I know that I need to have that cue ball travel a certain distance, I can take that distance. So we're looking at a half ball hit here, 50% ball, which means I'm not looking to just make this ball. I actually want to move that cue ball a certain distance. Maybe I want to move it to the middle of the table. So after this contacts the object ball, I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 diamonds after I make contact with the ball. Now I know a half ball hit, we're going to go the other way. Half of what is 6? 12. 12 diamonds of strength needs to be applied to this object ball to move that cue ball 6 diamonds. And it's going to travel 1 diamond to get there. So 12 plus 1 is, back of the room, 13. Good job. So what does 13 diamonds of strength look like? Well, when I was playing golf, 7 down, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, hole number 7 was 13 diamonds of strength. Now, we're coming into the rail. The rail will take some impact away. This will slow it down. So you need to apply a little bit more if you're coming off of a rail. How much more? Play with the rails. Different rails take different amount of inertia off of the ball. So if I want to move this back to the center, I'm going to play safe and just apply, I said what, 13, I'm going to apply about 15, I'm going to think about the 8-ball shot. So I came up short and probably applied about enough for that 7-ball. 6 or 7 ball. Understanding what the rails do is an important piece. I can use the rails to slow down the ball, or I can use the rails to speed up the ball. In this case, we are 1 diamond away. The cue ball is 1 diamond away. And it's a half ball hit. So if I were to apply enough strength for this to come back to the middle of the table, I need 1 gets transferred, but I need the cue ball to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to travel 6. We're still looking at 13 like before. I can hit this with a left or right English, and that will affect how the cue ball reacts. So if I hit this with, again, 13 strength, I'm not going to hit this any harder than I hit the last one. We can see how far that cue ball is traveling. So in that case, I put right English on. Right English is complementary or running English in this case. Once it hits the rail, it'll keep energy going. It'll move off of the rail quicker. So you can apply left or right English. If you apply left or right English, you will affect the speed that the distance that the cue ball will travel. So applying complementary running English, right English in this case, will increase that speed. Applying the brakes, which is left or kill, or reverse English in this case, will slow the ball down. We'll try to hit this at about the same 13 diamond strength, and we'll see, whereas I came up just a hair short before without any English. I came up on the second half of the table with running English and with kill or inside English. Again, I tried to hit those all about the same strength, and you can see how much that died off the rail. Died, got killed, inside English, reverse English. So I hope this was helpful for a couple different things. We can review talking a common language. If you're going to coach, find a common language. Don't talk subjectively. Saying things like lag speed, that's helpful. People understand how far a lag is and how hard to hit a lag. Just hard enough to make it? They really don't even know that, to be honest with you. People overhit in leagues all the time. So now we have a common language. Diamonds as a strength. We talked about golf as a game to understand how hard I actually need to hit something. We talked about the length of your backstroke directly impacting the strength that's applied, the impact strength that's applied to the cue ball. We also talked about the cue ball's energy after it makes contact with the object ball and how to determine how hard you actually need to hit something so that you can put that cue ball anywhere on the table. That's the goal. Our ultimate goal is to make it look easy, right? It's easy when you get perfect position. Get perfect position by understanding what the cue ball does off the rail. And you can look at my other video about the 90-degree rule and the 30-degree rule and follow. It also goes into detail about running and kill English, like we talked about here. That running and complementary English will speed up the cue ball because it allows it to roll off the rail easier. Kill English is putting the brakes on, so that's going to die. The rails itself will take inertia out of the cue ball, so be aware of that. I think that's all for today. Thank you.